Tigers.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Tiger Talk. I'm your host, Puda. Here with Coach Dre Trotsclair.
Let's do it. Episode number 2.
Episode 2. All right, so we're going to talk about the South Terrebonne scrimmage last Thursday. So we're mostly talking about the first team.
Right.
But second team did pretty good, too.
Yeah. We had good things on, both sides of the ball, even in the special teams game with both units. I thought we played a really good game overall. Defense was lights out. Offense did a really good job, had a great showing. We get into some stats and kind of talk a little bit about, who our key players were in that scrimmage and, who kind of excelled and stood out a little bit.
Definitely. So let's start with the offense. Sophomore quarterback, Braden Bagnell, 12 of 35, 189 yards and 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
That was a key. Yeah. So
that's always the key.
So we took a bunch of shots. So obviously the completion percentage isn't what you'd love to see, but that's not Braden's fault. That's more on me as a play caller. I was trying to see some different things and put him in different situations. So prior to our last 11 play, we went 11 incompletions in a row to end the scrimmage. But prior to that, he had a really good completion percentage. Like you said, 189 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions, didn't make bad throws. So we were really excited about the way that Braden played.
I was there. I watched it. There was so many plays that were, so many passes that were that close.
Yep.
And that's not all on Braden. So, but
I think we did
I was
a good
impressed.
job. Yeah, he did a great job. I think we did a good job this week, though, kind of working on some of the things that we were doing. And some of the balls were maybe just touch, where he put a little bit too much touch on it rather than kind of sticking it in there, things like that. So we worked on it this week. That's what we worked on Saturday morning when we came practice.
Right.
And that's something that he did a really good job with all week in practice, making those throws and making the adjustments to some of the things that we saw and wanted to correct. So I'm expecting big things tomorrow night again.
And like I told him, I'm like, you get that confidence and you're going to start making them throws.
Definitely.
Them throws will be, I have I know you do. I
Right.
have confidence in Brady.
Right. Our whole coaching staff does.
And that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, he's our guy. That's the guy we're going with, and we're excited about the way he's going to play.
I'm excited too. All right, Russian, Amari Griffin, 6 carries, 57 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. So Griff played well, man. He did a lot of good things, even without the ball in his hand, whether he was lead blocking for Gyro on some of those big runs that he had, or, in the pass protection game, he had a couple of big ones stepping up, picking up a blitzer and things like that. So we loved how Griff played. And then he had a couple of really tough runs. Where he might have should have got 5, ends up getting like 15, carrying the pile, doing things like that. So Griff played well. The faster we can get Griff to play, the better off he's going to be. And I think that's just going to come with game reps and more experience. Like I said, he's another sophomore. He's young.
Just like with Brady.
So that's going to be, as he comes along within the offense and feels more confident in the things that we're doing, he's going to start playing a little bit faster. But we really loved what we saw from him. Like you said, only 6 carries to have over 50 yards. That's a pretty dang good average.
Exactly. All right, and Cohen Gyro, my dog, 4 carries, 63 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, so Gyro was one of the bright spots offensively at the scrimmage. I mean, obviously we're talking about his rushing right now, but even in the receiving game, he did a great job. Rushing the football, he got the edge a couple times where I didn't know that the edge was there to be had. So he definitely showed a different kind of burst. And he ran the ball well. He ran the ball effectively. Averaged over 15 yards a carry, which is exceptional.
That's awesome.
He's a guy that we're going to look to get the ball to. He's going to be a vital part of our offense and the success that we're going to have offensively. But it was a great start. You know what I mean? It was a great start in the scrimmage versus, South Terrebonne for him in the run game. And, he's, like I said, he's a versatile player. He's a guy that starts at receiver for us, but we can motion him to the backfield. We could just do so many different things with him.
All right, Dominic Blanchard, 4 for 46. Braden Becknell had 4 carries for 13 yards.
On scrambles,
On scrambles. And Bryson Rodriguez ran 1 for 2 yards.
Yeah, Dom was another guy that we thought did a really good job when he had the ball in his hands. Braden had to come out because his helmet came off one play, so we put him at Wildcat.
Remember that?
We have a quarterback package with Dom in the run game, and he actually throws it pretty well, too. He threw one to Rufino that went right through his hands, but he threw a great ball. And then even when we had him in a running back spot, he did some good stuff. His vision was good. His patience was good. He had a really good burst. So he was one of the guys offensively that we came out of the scrimmage thinking, he had a really good night, and that's somebody that we definitely got to get the ball in his hands.
Definitely. All right, we'll get to the receiving now. Kyron Foles, 2 catches, 41 yards and a touchdown.
Yep. So with Kyron, he caught a shallow and took it the distance. He had a good scrimmage. He did some things. Really did. He got open a bunch. Only 2 catches, but that's not all in his control.
Right.
But the 2 times he did catch the ball, he did some good things with it in his hands. And that's another guy who's a sophomore. He's a young kid.
Yeah.
He's gonna progress. He's gonna get better as the season goes on, as we get more reps, as the offense gels, and him and Braden kind of develop some more chemistry and things like that. So I think the team that you're seeing right now, early on in the preseason, compared to what you're gonna see in week 5, 6, 7, things like that, we're gonna take huge strides as we go. Just the more experience that we gain.
And Dominic, we just talked about 3 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, Dom. He caught one on a fake screen and go that we like to call Fox screen, and he was wide open. Braden made a great throw. He did a great job selling his block and then releasing off of it. So that was something that we kind of schemed up, and we've been working on a lot in practice. So to see it actually, be put to use in a game-like setting, that was awesome. And Braden put the ball right on the money.
Sure did. Cohen Gyro, we just talked about it too. 4 catches, 81 yards.
Yeah, so
and damn near just close had a touchdown.
Yeah, on the corner on the route. Yeah,
it was so close.
It was close. But yeah, 4 for 81. He had a great catch over the middle on a big deep crosser.
Yep.
Went up in traffic, got it, took a hit, still came down with the football. And then he had another one. He had a long run after catch, so his yak was pretty good.
Yep.
Over 20 yards 20 yards of reception for him, which is a great average to have. So like I said, coming out of it, I think Cohen was probably our offensive player of the game, definitely. For what he did in the run game and the pass game. We think he's going to continue to take strides too, because like I said, he's just coming into his own as a junior, and as we get more developed in what we're doing scheme-wise, he's going to continue to progress.
Definitely.
So, we were excited about what we saw there.
Definitely. And Bryson Woods, 3 catches, 24 yards.
Yeah, Bryson's another guy we're excited about, man. He's a junior. He's lightning quick. He's fast as could be. He caught a shallow where we thought he might take it the distance. He's a guy that we like to get in on jet sweeps and really just, using his speed to kind of stretch the defense vertically. He's a guy that, we really scheme a lot of different things up for offensively to try to put the ball in his hands because he's a playmaker when he has it. So we're expecting to see a lot of big things out of him this year, especially I think tomorrow night he'll have a great night as well.
Hell yeah. So the total stats for the offense in the scrimmage, 19 rush attempts, 181 yards, 9.52 yards per carry.
So I think that's a big testament to our offensive line,
Definitely.
Who obviously doesn't get a lot of love whenever it starts up front, right? Starts up front. So you don't get a lot of love, in the stat sheet as an offensive lineman. But, I'm going to give those guys a lot of credit in these shows and these opportunities that we put together because they deserve it. The guys up front did a great job opening up holes. We ran a counter play that was open pretty much all night.
Right.
We didn't go to it as much as we could have, but obviously we were trying to work on different
Right.
things. But yeah, those guys up front did a great job. All the way, starting at the left tackle spot with Skyler, and then you move inside Carter, Jackson, Gary, Bob. I mean, those five, they played well. They only gave up one sack
Right.
in the whole scrimmage,
Right.
which we had over 50-something plays with the ones.
Right.
So one sack and 50-something plays when we dropped back 35
54.
times. That's a
Oh,
really
that's-
good job by those
I'll
guys
take
up
that.
front.
I'll take that all
every
day.
single Friday. So they played well together, man. They communicated. They had a couple really good trade-offs on blitzes and things like that. So the more continuity those guys develop together, the better off we're going to be. But yeah,
Definitely.
in the pass game and the run game, those guys up front, a lot of our credit needs to go to them for how
Definitely.
much success we have.
Definitely. So, 54 total plays, 370 total yards, 6.85 yards per play.
That's something we
Which
can
is-
live with.
Yeah,
That's something we
oh,
can
yeah.
live with. If we do that, we're
Hell yeah.
gonna have success on Friday
Hell yeah.
nights.
One penalty, 10 yards. And like you said, one sack.
Yep.
Biggest stat, 0 turnovers.
0 turnovers. Yeah, I mean, and that's something that whenever we came in on Saturday morning, we watched the film with the guys. Our keys to success, our keys to victory offensively, limit the penalties, 0 turnovers, limit the sacks. And that's something that we did a great job of checking those boxes.
That's big.
So, yeah, I mean, we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot. You know what I
Right,
mean? We had
right,
no penalties
right.
where we drive down or we get a big play and it gets called back, things like that. So I was excited with how we played
Right.
offensively.
And it was 36% run, 64% pass.
Yep.
So, like we was talking about Braden, I found that he was confident back there.
Yeah.
He was poised back there. And like I said, he might have overshot a throw or two, but
Yeah.
that's going to come.
It's gonna come with
Definitely
experience.
gonna
It's gonna
come.
come with more reps
He's
and things
young.
like
I
that.
mean, he's a sophomore.
Definitely.
And like you
Definitely.
said, more reps, blah, blah, blah. We got the Jamboree tomorrow night, and then let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. I can't
Let's
wait
go.
for tomorrow night.
All right, let's get to the defense.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. Leading tackler, Rashad Jackson. 14 tackles, 9 solo.
Yep.
3 sacks.
Yeah. I mean, he played an excellent game.
He's
He was all over the football field, sideline to sideline.
He's-
He's the anchor of our defense. You know what I mean? He's a team captain, anchor of our defense. We expect him to do stuff like this each and every week.
Yes.
Not that it should be common, like 14 tackles and
Right.
9 solos and 3 sacks. That's not common. Like, that's exceptional
No,
stuff.
he had
But like,
awesome-
that's what we expect him to do. That's the type of player he is. So
That's
I
what
mean,
he can do.
we're excited about him, and we expect to see that stuff every week.
That's what he can do.
Yeah.
So I'll run through the rest right quick, and then
Mhm.
you can comment if you want. Kimon, 4 tackles.
Yep.
Trevon, 6 tackles. Brad, 8 tackles.
Yeah.
Dyson, 7 tackles. Spencer, 4. Lawrence, 5. Tyler, 5. Jace, 3. Dylan, 7. Austin, 6. Ahmad, 3. Charles, 3. And Ahmad had an interception.
Yeah. So the thing that kind of jumps out at me whenever you talk about those stats, as far as tackles go, how spread out it was.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We didn't have one guy making plays. It wasn't just, okay, man, he made every play, or these 3 guys made all the plays. It was spread out. Everybody on the defense was making plays. They were doing their assignment.
Everybody.
Nobody was playing outside of our scheme. Nobody was trying to be the leading tackler. We played within the system. We did our jobs that we were supposed to do. And when you do that, the tackles are going to be spread out.
Right.
Just based off of what the offense is doing. So, I mean, defensively, you couldn't ask for a better effort. I know you're going to get into it, the total yards and things like that. But
Yeah.
it's exceptional what we were able to do. And I know it's just a scrimmage. We don't want to count our, count the chickens before they hatch.
Definitely.
But it is what it is. We had a great night, and we were excited about the way that they played, and we just want to build off of that, man. We want to build off of the success that we've had all the way from the spring to the scrimmage, and then again tomorrow night in the Jamboree leading up to week 1.
All right. So we said Rashad had 3 sacks. Trevon had 1.
Yep.
Dyson
a
had
sack.
1.
Dyson had a sack. Yep.
Dylan had 2.
We had 8 total
And
as a team.
Austin had 1.
Yeah.
8
total
sacks as a team. Rushing stats. 19 carries for 23 yards.
I mean, that says what it needs to say. You know,
can't-
I
I
can't
mean,
even
you
say
can't
much
hate
about
that.
that. That's exceptional.
Passing 1 for 26, 2 yards, 8 sacks, as we said.
Yeah.
2 turnovers.
Right. And that's going to be a big thing. Our
Yeah.
defense
Oh,
is
you
going to
gotta-
have to get the ball back
Got to.
our offense. But yeah, just the the contested passing lanes that we had defensively, we gave up literally one completion. We had nothing open for those guys. They did a great job of reading their keys and doing what they were supposed to do.
Definitely.
And then it also helps when the pass rush is getting home. You know,
Definitely.
8 out of their 26 dropbacks, we sacked their quarterback. So I mean, we were in his face all night getting pressure, and that's just something that I think our defensive front, with the different amount of guys that we have, and then linebackers, outside guys, it's just, you know, it's something that we can do week in and week out with the way that those guys play. You know, and like I said, they play within the scheme. I mean, this is something that, you know, I'm excited to see our defense play because our defense is really good.
Me too. Third down conversion, 17%. And total yards, including sacks, scrambles, and penalties, 12 yards.
12 yards. Yeah,
That's
defense played lights out. Defense played lights out.
defense played lights out.
No doubt. They
I
did.
love it. I love it. All right, and then we got a little special teams.
Yeah.
PATs, Zach Hutchinson was 6 for 7, and Dylan Alva was 1 for 1. Overall, 7 for 8 on PAT.
Yep, and I think on the miss, it was we had a little laces to the kicker, kind of went off his foot a little bit differently, but you know we like to be 100% on PATs week in and week out. But you know I think we did a decent job. You know with you know being this early in the season, I think we did okay.
Definitely. Field goals, Zach was 0 for 1. That was in the live period,
yeah.
and it was a 40-yard attempt.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
just
And
like
he had the leg on it. He had the leg on
Oh,
it.
yeah.
He pulled it just a little bit.
But just like with everybody else, it's gonna come.
Yeah. And Zach's only a junior. You know, he's just getting into his junior year.
Awesome.
And the more reps and, you know, the more opportunities he has to go out there. And one of the reasons I did it, too, I just wanted him to know I trust him from that distance.
Oh,
I think that was going to be a big thing, you know, with me and him knowing, hey, when we get to this, when we get to a certain spot on the field, I'm going to kick the field goal with you because I think that you can do it, and I see you every day in practice.
I've seen
make
him in
those
practice
kicks.
So
I think he's going to make those kicks more times than he's going to miss those kicks.
Definitely.
So I do that 100 times.
Everything comes in time, bro.
Yeah.
Kickoffs, Zach 54 yards, 8-yard line, 57 yards, 5-yard line, 2 for 111.
Dylan had a touchdown.
Dylan had 60-yard touchback. Punt, Dylan 1 for 35 inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that was in the live quarter. One inside the 20-yard line, pinned them at about the 9-yard line for their drive.
And punt return, Cohen and Dominic each had a fair catch.
Yep, in the live quarter.
All right, so talk about the freshman game last night.
Yeah. Look, we went out to Central Lafourche last night. Freshman team got a win, 24-16 over South Lafourche. Vondarius Brown was the player of the game, obviously.
Definitely.
He had 3 carries for 114 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 catch for 53 yards and a touchdown. He's going to be a good player, man. He's a guy that we're excited about. He works his butt off in practice. He's a guy that we've moved up. You know, he played tonight in the JV game, and he's going to dress with us tomorrow night varsity-wise. So that's a freshman that, you know, we think very highly of. But we got a really good freshman class. We really do across the board, offense, defense, you know, whether it be skill guys, big guys. But, yeah, so I think obviously he was the key point or the key player in that game. But another guy, running back Makai Sylvester, had 6 carries for 104 yards as well. So we had 2 backs over 100 yards on only 9 carries.
That's awesome.
So that was a big showing by those guys. I think they did a good job. Young quarterback Damian Robertson, he was the one who threw the touchdown to Vondarius. The guys up front played well. We didn't have many penalties up front on the offensive line, which in freshman ball, that's one of the big keys to having success up there.
Because you would think they would make a little more mistakes than
Right.
the older guys.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
But they did a good job, man. The receivers did a good job blocking on the outside.
Yeah.
I was excited
That's
about
big.
that. And then defensively, I think we did a great job in the first half. Second half, we gave up a couple touchdowns. We missed some tackles.
Yeah.
Things that are going to happen. That was their first, they hadn't even scrimmaged
Yeah,
yet
exactly.
at this point. So, I mean, that was
Exactly.
really their first live action. So that stuff's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna build off of that, going into our first freshman game. But defensively, a couple guys stood out to me. I think Braden Boyd plays outside linebacker for us. He's a big kid. Carter Kloot played pretty well defensively for us as well. And then Austin Owens at corner. He had a good night. So, I mean, we got some guys on the defensive side of the ball that did some good things too. And I'm really excited, man. I love the freshman team. Those guys play with a different kind of energy. And they still got, a different kind of love for the game.
Right.
Because they're still young.
Right.
And you get excited watching those guys make plays and get excited the way that they do. Because they're out here working hard each and every day. They were with us all summer, so it's something that I'm excited to see our freshman program take strides and continue moving forward. But like you said, that's the future of Table High football. So I mean, we're going to invest in those guys as much as we can.
I love it. JV tonight. We just got back from the game.
Yep.
Beat South Lafourche 14-0.
Yeah. So JV did well. Obviously, first half had a couple touchdowns called back. Von Darius had two touchdown runs called back, so he excelled tonight in the JV game as well.
He could have 5 touchdowns
in the last 2 nights.
2 nights.
Yeah, he's played well. I mean, he's a good player. Kamari Carto scores for us in the second half on a run up the middle to get the first points on the board, and then a little bit later, Bryson Rodriguez connects with Cam DiMaggio. And he scores a touchdown on a tight end, slip seam up the middle. So that was exciting to see us use the tight end in our JV sets and things like that.
My God, job.
Because that's something that we've been working, man. So I was excited, offensively. I thought we could have put up, 28, 35 points with what was called back, but. We're never going to complain and things like that. If it happened, it happened. So we got to play the next play. And then defensively, obviously, we put up a goose egg. We put up a shutout. That's all you can ask of that defense.
Always good.
We had guys making plays all over the field. I thought we did a really good job, slowing down their run game. So, Tevin Martinez is one of those guys. He's going to be a guy that gets some varsity action as well. But he was, playing with the JV. Asher Maurer, Roland Vining, both of those guys did a good job. Tylen Andrus. So, I mean, we had some guys out there making plays all night defensively. And, I'm excited about what we're doing in JV. Because those guys are important too. So, freshman, JV, varsity, no matter what it is, we're going to be out there. We're going to be supporting our team. And we're going to just work hard and try to develop those guys to where they're going to be really good players for us no matter what. Because, like you say, football is a physical sport, and you're going to have guys that go down with injury, and we're going to have a true next man up mentality. And unless you invest in those guys, they won't be ready. So we're going to make sure that we put the time in with those guys to do a good job.
That's right. All right, tomorrow night, Varsity Jamboree, 6 o'clock at Central versus Ellender. What do you know about Ellender?
So Ellender's got a new head coach, Coach Haslett. Jesse Turner took over at Covenant Christian. Guy I played ball with at Nichols in college.
Sounds familiar.
He was a running back. He played at Ellender.
Yeah.
So he was their head coach for the last couple of years, and then he just took the job at CCA. So Haslett took over for those guys. And he's gonna do a good job over there, man. I think he knows his stuff. I think he's a good coach. And I wish him well, on every night except tomorrow night. So we're gonna go out there. We're gonna play well. I fully expect us to have a good performance. We had a great week of practice, and we got a good game plan going for these guys. I think defensively, they're gonna run a 4-man front. They'll be 4-2-5. They're gonna play a lot of cover 3 behind it with soft corner, soft high safety. So our plan is just to take what the defense gives us. We're going to let what the defense does dictate what we want to do offensively. And we're going in there, with a little bit different mindset than last week. Last week I was kind of experimenting, trying some things out, trying to see some different things. Tomorrow night I'll probably call the game a lot more closely to how I would an actual game. So I'm not going to be experimenting and trying different stuff. I'm going to be trying to put points on the board and put our guys in situations to have success. Defensively, Coach Woods has done a good job all week, and the rest of the defensive staff. Those guys are fully prepared to go out there and do a great job, just like they did last week. They got an athletic quarterback, athletic running back, good receivers, big, some good size up front, offensive line wise. So we expect them to give us a challenge, we're ready to answer the bell. Defensively, we get a couple guys back this week. Andre Jones last week sat out. He had a shin bruise. We get Tevin Martinez back this week as well. So we had a couple guys that were out and things like that, but we're starting to kind of get a little bit more healthy as we progress into week 1. So I'm excited to see those guys play. We hadn't evaluated them yet at the varsity level defensively, but obviously looking for another strong game from our 2 team captains defensively, Rashad Jackson and Brad Leonard, and then the 2 safeties played well last week. Get to see those guys again. Both corners. I mean, literally defensive line. We had 8 sacks. Defense played lights out. So we want to see those guys go out and perform again. And tomorrow night's another great opportunity. We're going to play 2 15-minute quarters. That's how the regular all special teams, regular football, except 2 15-minute quarters. So we'll have 30 minutes of action tomorrow night at Central versus Ellender. We want everybody to come out, support us, man. Come see your Tigers play.
We want to see that purple and gold in the stadium.
We're not going to be home till week 3. So if you want to watch us play and see what kind of brand of football we're putting on the field, you're going to have to get in the truck, make that little 25, 30-minute ride down there, and come watch us play, man, because the kids deserve it. Like I said, I'm always going to, promote our kids and make sure that they're always given the respect and the credit that they deserve with how much they work. Come out tomorrow night and see those guys get after it.
Let's go.
I'm excited.
I'm ready.
No doubt.
Anything else?
No, man, that's it. That's all I got. I think we could wrap it up. And like I said, see y'all tomorrow night at Central Lafourche High School as we take on the Ellender Patriots.
We'll be there.
No doubt.
You got to be there. I just want to be there now. But I want to shout out, so we have our first sponsor.
Yeah.
Benoit's Performance Baits. You can check him out on Facebook. Benoit's Performance Baits. He got bass baits, sockeye baits. I think he got great white shark baits. Like, he's got everything. My dog been with me forever since I started doing videos, and y'all check him out. And now he's Tiger Talk's first sponsor.
Love it.
So go check him out.
No doubt.
See y'all tomorrow night. Y'all better be there.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.